Hello everyone! Today we're going to see why 21 people that I randomly asked on the internet invested in Tesla. Also my own personal list why I invested the majority of my portfolio in Tesla. So like and please subscribe and you will see that in the end of the video. So let's dive into the most popular reply. So basically what I did, I went into Reddit and I asked people, why did you invest in Tesla? So you can check out the first, and maybe not the first, but the most upvoted reply here.
Because for years, we have been complaining and seeing the effects of climate change and nobody is doing shit. Just a bunch of people who can talk but have zero action. Tesla is solving the biggest issue that we have today and doing it in the most coolest way possible. The real question is, why aren't more people with Tesla?
So yeah, it's a really great question, and yeah, so climate change is a really big one. So you're saving the planet and you're investing in something and that is the future. So climate change, big one. Here we also see Moon Pumper, why he got into Tesla and also has with climate change to do. Pause the video if you want to read the whole one. I will go to the end or jump in here.
Now with climate change accelerating and legacy industries dragging their feet, that's putting it politely, it's hard to imagine a viable future for our species without Tesla and companies like them trying to build the entire end-to-end solution for electrification as quickly as possible. Elon Musk is the only person of major influence who seems to cut through the bullshit and produce results, and he's the only one doing it with a sense of urgency proportional to amount of how completely effed we are.
So number two, the second reason why people are investing in Tesla is the Tesla effect. This is something that a lot of people have been talking about. That Tesla has this effect when new people that have never been in Tesla enters, they get this wow moment. A lot of people after that like fell in love with Teslas, buying them, investing in the company, and so on. It's not like many companies that have that effect. As soon as you like try it out or use it or go with it or like see it, that you get that effect. I don't say that everyone like just enter in Tesla and then they buy one, but these have this effect that people are talking about. Even people that are not even that car interested feels that Tesla is a really nice car when they enter it. I will put it kind of like an iPhone. It's like this end-to-end, super simple, super nice designed interface and feeling you get from the car. So here is one example of a guy who bought Tesla stock because of how the car was. He bought a car and then he was like, I need to buy stocks as well. So let's see it.
Owning a Tesla changed my driving experience on day one, and being in the driver's seat I can really appreciate where the future is going. So if Tesla is going to be the first to dive into all sectors of energy, I'm all for it and will be happy to see what plans stick in 10, 20, or even 30 years.
Here is one as well. You can just pause if you want to read the whole, but yeah. Greed. So this guy wanted to get filthy rich, so that's why he invested in Tesla. Simple, easy, basically. And as I wrote, it's a good thing when it helps the planet as well. Tesla have a super high engineering skills in the company and skills overall in the company, but because great people want to work on Tesla and with Tesla. The great people usually care about like the environment. They want to be in the revolutionary industry as Tesla is, and yeah, so they have a great access to talent, and that's really important for companies like Tesla. Here is also a study that shows that students really want to work at SpaceX and Tesla. Engineering students. They are always innovating and innovating. So another reason we got here is Barney 2020. When I first saw the original Roadster, I couldn't believe an electric car could go that fast. They're always innovating. That's what I want to say. Let's jump on to the next one. Solar. So they have.
Actually, I'm not interested in Mars. I just came back from there, so I'm more interested on the Earth, the things, what's going on happening here. So why you're so curious about the Mars? Just one step you go to Mars, but you will never be able to come back.
Yeah,
so that's my view.
That's not how it works, though.
And also...
So, solar panels. Solar is also the future, according to many, and is a big part of Tesla. So they have these good-looking solar panels that looks like ordinary roof. They also have the ordinary solar panels. They're also trying to innovate in this space as well and cutting the cost and making it more available for everyone to get solar. They also have their battery technology in something called the power wall that you buy as well when you install all these panels. So you can gather the electricity on a sunny day and then you can use it on the night or maybe the next day and stuff like that. So it's really cool and also growing industry, and it's a growing part of Tesla as well. Mobility as a service. So basically you have Uber here, Tesla here. Tesla can make a way better product with owning the whole system and by having no drivers. So here you take Uber and you smash it into Tesla's market cap. No, joke aside, but a robo-fleet taxi is what Tesla is also trying to make. It's basically when the Autopilot is good enough, you will be able to connect your car to the fleet, and while you are at work or while you are at holiday or while you're sleeping or while you're not just using your car, it can go out and work for you as its own taxi. So it will pick up people, drop people off exactly like the Uber app, but it will have no drivers, so it will be cheaper, and you will also earn money from your car when it's not being used. How cool would that be? Like just lying on the beach, drinking pina colada and earning money from your car. Your car will be like your own company. So yeah, more about the Autopilot. Tesla is the biggest one and have the best Autopilot. You know Waymo, the Google PR company that have these big boxes on the roofs and sensors everywhere. As Elon Musk says, that's a
LiDAR to navigate to the space station and dock. Not only that, SpaceX developed its own LiDAR from scratch to do that, and I spearheaded that effort personally. Because in that scenario, LiDAR makes sense. And in cars, it's freaking stupid. It's expensive and unnecessary, and as Andre was saying, once you solve vision, it's worthless. So you have expensive hardware that's worthless on the car.
I think Tesla's approach is way better. It's use cameras only or mostly, and it scan and like what is this object? Yeah, it's a car in real time. And these other companies that's using radar, they are just scanning and building a 3D map of the dimension around the car, and then they can drive it. So they need to drive with the driver and then they can drive. So I don't believe really in the Google way of doing things. I think Tesla does it way better. Also, Tesla have something that no one else have. They have data. So Google's startup company, for one example, they are driving around with like just a few cars. I don't know if it's maybe 60 cars or something. Tesla have 1 million cars in their fleet, and they are gathering data every single mile that they are driving. Every single time a Tesla is being used is collecting data for Tesla that they use to train their algorithm. So here is a great example. This is from 1 year ago when Tesla had their presentation about Autopilot.
Is the fleet. We can really source data from it and make our neural network systems work extremely well. So let me take you through a concrete example of, for example, making the object detector work better, to give you a sense of how we develop these neural networks, how we iterate on them, and how we actually get them to work over time. So object detection is something we care a lot about. We'd like to put bounding boxes around, say, the cars and the objects here, because we need to track them and we need to understand how they might move around. So again, we might ask human annotators to give us some annotations for these, and humans might go in and might tell you that, okay, those patterns over there are cars and bicycles and so on. And you can train your neural network on this, but if you're not careful, the neural network will make mispredictions in some cases. So as an example, if we stumble by a car like this that has a bike on the back of it, then the neural network actually, when I joined, would actually create two detections. It would create a car detection and a bicycle detection. And that's actually kind of correct, because I guess both of those objects actually exist. But for the purposes of the controller and the planner downstream, you really don't want to deal with the fact that this bicycle can go with the car. The truth is that that bike is attached to that car, so in terms of like just objects on the road, there's a single object, a single car. And so what you'd like to do now is you'd like to just potentially annotate lots of those images as this is just a single car. So the process that we go through internally in the team is that we take this image, or a few images that show this pattern, and we have a mechanism, a machine learning mechanism, by which we can ask the fleet to source us examples that look like that. And the fleet might respond with images that contain those patterns. So as an example, these 6 images might come from the fleet. They all contain bikes on backs of cars. And we would go in and we would annotate all those as just a single car, and then the performance of that detector actually improves. And the network internally understands that, hey, when the bike is just attached to the car, that's actually just a single car. And it can learn that given enough examples. And that's how we've sort of fixed that problem. I will mention that I talk quite a bit about sourcing data from the fleet. I just want to make a quick point that we've designed this from the beginning with privacy in mind, and all the data that we use for training is anonymized. Now, the fleet doesn't just respond with bicycles on backs of cars. We look for lots of things all the time. So, for example, we look for boats, and the fleet can respond with boats. We look for construction sites, and the fleet can send us lots of construction sites from across the world. We look for even slightly more rare cases. So, for example, finding debris on the road is pretty important to us. So these are examples of images that have streamed to us from the fleet that show tires, cones, plastic bags, and things like that. If we can source these at scale, we can annotate them correctly, and the neural network can learn how to deal with them in the world. Here's another example. Animals, of course, also a very rare occurrence, an event, but we want the neural network to really understand what's going on here, that these are animals, and we want to deal with that correctly. So to summarize, the process by which we iterate on neural network predictions looks something like this. We start with a seed data set that was potentially sourced at random. We annotate that data set, and then we train neural networks on that data set and put that in the car. And then we have mechanisms by which we notice inaccuracies in the car when this detector may be misbehaving. So for example, if we detect that the neural network might be uncertain, or if we detect that, or if there's a driver intervention on any of those settings, we can create this trigger infrastructure that sends us data of those inaccuracies. And so, for example, if we don't perform very well on lane line detection on tunnels, then we can notice that there's a problem in tunnels. That image would enter our unit tests, so we can verify that we've actually fixing the problem over time. But now what you do is, to fix this inaccuracy, you need to source many more examples that look like that. So we ask the fleet to please send us many more tunnels, and then we label all those tunnels correctly. We incorporate that into the training set, and we retrain the network, redeploy, and iterate the cycle over and over again.
Yeah, you see. That's the advantage of having a big fleet going around and tracking or collecting data, basically, for you, so you can train the algorithm. So when it comes to AI, data is the most important part. So my thoughts, yeah, we basically went through it all, but access to talent, as I said, the study shows that a lot of people, or the most people, want to work at SpaceX or Tesla. Autopilot, they have the data, collection, they have far more data than anyone else. They also have the best talent, so I think they will be the first ones to solve Autopilot. Maybe it will not be as good this year, or maybe not the next year, but I definitely think they will be the first one to solve real self-driving. software as a service, or mobility as a service. So the robo-fleet taxi thing that we talked about, the Uber killer, yes, you remember Uber market cap, boom, smash into Teslas. So they will basically be able to kill Uber pretty fast if they get the full self-driving to work. Software as a service, they can also sell it, like currently it costs one time and then you can use it, like it costs almost 10 grand and you can use it. But they can also like lease the software. So if you buy a Tesla, you can also maybe pay a monthly subscription in the future to be able to not need to drive the car. Yeah, and also they sell over-the-air updates. Like you can get performance updates, you can basically like trim your car by just pressing your mobile app. Like, I want a new update, yeah, sure. My car goes faster now, nice, thank you. So that's really insane as well. And the battery technology, I think they are far, far, far ahead of the competition, as far as my research go at least. Margins, so as I just said, the software part, nobody else has that. Ford doesn't have that, Volvo doesn't have that you can pay, and that people actually are paying like 10 grand extra out of their like car cost to get a feature, a software basically, and that's the self-driving. And it have been just going up and up in price. I think it's a bit under 10K right now. So yeah, for the climate, as we said in the beginning, a huge one. More and more people are actually like buying stuff that they think are better for the climate. And yeah, in the future, a lot of states and countries want to ban fossil fuels, fossil cars. Solar and storage, currently not the biggest part of the company, but I think that it will be a huge part. I think that this part could potentially be bigger than the car company in the far future. The rate of innovation, they are innovating and innovating some more, as we said. Just look at them where they are now. It's only been like 12 years or so since they started. Elon Musk, his leadership and his like brand around him as well as the Tesla brand, his track record. He has started a lot of successful companies so far. What he have done with Tesla, what he have done with SpaceX, I think I would bet my money on him instead of random people that are in charge of the other companies. Like, if you go out on your local town and ask people, do you know who Ford CEO is? I bet not a lot of them will know, at least. But Elon Musk, if you ask people who is Elon Musk, a lot of people know who he is. So yeah, that's basically it. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, like the button, or press the like button. Press the dislike button if you didn't think this was any valuable. Comment below what I can do better. Comment below what you want to see in the next video. I really, really am happy if you watch all the way to the end. Thank you. Bye.